Good afternoon, guys. Good evening, good morning, whatever you are. It's March 13th, Friday. Couldn't be better, right? Well, beginning of the Tokyo session was ugly, but then in the information that the Apple reopened all stores in China, it was like a fuel for the market. Plus, of course, we shouldn't forget helicopter money from the Fed, right? European was very positive. US start gap up and then sudden sell off. The thing is that we do have President Trump speech later today, and the rumors are that we are going to have the Trump to declare national emergency over the coronavirus. Now, guys, we have to talk a bit about that. It's not gonna be bearish. It's a summary of all the information we have, I would say. Right? Well, not necessarily gonna be bullish, but because of the upcoming weekend, it may provide opportunity for the buyers like hot or fast money to try to squeeze the shorts towards the end of the week, towards the end of the session this Friday. All right. So we are going to discuss S&P. All right. So overall, that was the limit up ahead of the cash market open, then the gap up, and then this, well, I would say quiet, ugly sell off. We've had 3 waves and we hit 2,500. Now, let's switch to a little bit higher time frame. All right, let's start with the weekly chart. And you know, the news is the news, but how the market was trying to defend some certain levels is amazing. It's amazing. If you guys watched one of the educational webinars, I'm talking about the swing trading. All right, so that's what we have here. Unfinished business finally been finished this week, and we are building lower shadow. Okay, that's quite important. Now, let's switch back to the lower time frame, to the daily chart, and let's have a look what else we have. So it's going to be no surprise for you. It's not gonna be surprise for you why we had the sell-off at the beginning of the day during the cash market. That's the high, right? That's the high. And that's the base. That's our lines we have here, right? Some levels we were discussing already for quite some time. So the thing is, and it's very important in my opinion, the thing is that, as I mentioned, the declaration of the emergency is not that bad, but of course it's not gonna be that bullish, and we might see some kind of destabilization. We might see some of the volatility going down for quite some time, and we might see some kind of the consolidation between 2,620, 2,700, and to the downside 2,500, 2,400. I know I'm talking about the very wide levels, but that's how it looks when the volatility is very, very high. So going even lower from the buyer's perspective, as you can see, that was the repo yesterday. That was the positive open today. Clearly we see where we have sellers. If we are going to manage to go above, it might be some kind of the inverted head and shoulders here, right? And that might provide opportunity to squeeze higher towards 2,900, right? Well, is it going to happen today? You know, with this market, I don't know, but it probably gonna be more the bigger possibility to see that next week, especially that we've got the 3 witches, right? So when it comes to the eventually looking for a buying opportunity, right? So that's, as I mentioned, below 2,500, right? So we are talking about some weakness we've seen here, right? Upper shadows and the last weakness. So everything is below 2,500, right? When it comes to the selling, above 2,600 and higher towards 2,700, I've mentioned before. So that's how I see the things when it comes to the indices, especially when it comes to the S&P. Of course, daily and weekly close above, right? Very bullish. Now let's have a look what we have on the FX front. Very interesting situation on the dollar yen, through the roof, straight through the roof, right? Huge rally we have here. Now, of course, we have Bank of Japan partially behind that move, right? If that's the one-to-one correction, we just about to hit that one. But what we were discussing a second ago about the indices, right? Some kind of destabilization. So to be honest with you, cannot be ruled out that the Bank of Japan will not only buy all the Japanese ETFs, but will try to sell all the yens they have. So I'm going to watch very carefully later today how we are going to behave around 108 when it comes to the dollar yen, right? Because that's the first 108, 108.25 first possible supply, and the next one I see is this break to the upside, meaning that the next one is around 110. Very bullish, this V formation here, right? So when it comes to the buyers, yesterday high 106.10, the base we have here 105, right? That's the potential demand levels, and supply, as I mentioned, first towards 108.25 and cannot be ruled out 110. Looks like, well, no risk off at all, quick reversal. So that's how it looks, and we have to look from the daily chart perspective. So summarize 106.10, 105.20 to the downside, 108.25, 110, 110 to the upside when it comes to the dollar yen. And finally, euro dollar testing the swing low we've seen yesterday from the intraday perspective, but we are below red dotted line, and we were discussing yearly open tested after the breakdown yesterday, tested twice, today tested 3 times intraday, sell off, right? Looks like we might see the continuation to the downside when it comes to the euro dollar. That's something we discussed very often, but probably I'm going to wait. I'm going to be in the wait and see mode over the weekend, and then I will try to work with euro dollar as early as next week. Overall, dollar very nice comeback. Cable hit our levels. Euro dollar. Don't forget, guys, that you may watch my trading activity. I'm doing all different strategies at one account. You can find the link in the description. So, you know, not necessarily it's gonna be clear, but the performance is clear. And of course, the things that what we discuss, it's not only discussion. Most of the things we are talking about, I'm also trading, right, guys? Well, I'm waiting for the Trump. I wanna see what's going to happen with the indices. Anyway, we have also the bloodbath, huge bloodbath when it comes to the crypto market, but that's for separate update. It was my pleasure to be with you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Be careful and don't be trapped. Don't fall in love with the position ahead of the weekend. Take care and goodbye.